Hello, I'm independent blogger from Lithuania. Mostly I'm interested in nuclear topics, starting from last year, war, and 12 years in a row, or maybe 13. I been working journalist in various fields, in newspapers, even in television, in my blog, and I created this video blog too. So, from the big stress, finding out I found on 19th on May on radiological map of Europe that dark violet point is on Cyprus, and as I started pressing, the numbers rose, and finally I become seeing 489 million gamma rays dose. And if you press on the links that I shared, it is exactly at the moment they show the same number. If you press maximum and you press on LEFKOSIA, they will show you they are not hiding anything. And first of all, I did not know exact information what nuclear plant explode. The first reaction was nuclear plant explosion. And I found only next day that there is no nuclear plant, and they wrote MIS. I did not know what is this MIS factory or what it is, and Cyprus government started showing. I also shared link. Started showing ionization radiation, alpha radiation, beta radiation, and radon of two different isotopes. Sorry, I have a very friendly doggy barking. I'm filming at the moment. Okay, nothing happened. I live in the village. We have doggies. They sometimes bark. Okay, so people normally are used to gamma radiation, but also people do not know that there is another gamma radiation. It is ambient radiation. So the problem is with Cyprus talking about gamma radiation because people do not believe this event, because how the hell could shrink from 489 million to almost zero. But only the third day after the blast, I realized that in Cyprus there are no normal gamma dose monitoring. It is another monitoring, even another pages exist. It is natural monitoring system. They monitor Earth, cosmos, and airborne radiation. These monitorings are built in Cyprus usually because of radon, two different isotopes that cause cancers here in Cyprus, in Greece. Even I checked in Israel, they have radon monitoring because it exists. Radon is like uran, but 3 times tougher. And radon gas causes lung issues and cancers. So these monitorings, you should see that it is ambient dose gamma, and in not gamma, even they say ambient dose radiation. It's natural radiation. And in some literature, they write that by these monitorings, there can be blast of nuclear plant. They even will not react. So the question is, I don't know the answer. Why in MIS, as people in hysteria, local Lithuanians are in hysteria, because if the facts go out, their all business crash down. I even where a few hours ago I was threatened by them. They started threatening me that I stop informing, but I cannot stop informing because this event is real, and remap.jrc.ec.europe.eu is real. It belongs to European Commission, and it is online monitoring from Europe and from some countries, but very pity that I cannot find Africa monitoring, Israel, Syria, Lebanon. It's a very big problem because this very big radiation must go to these countries because wind is blowing to these countries. So gamma, as you know, there is a Greek alphabet, alpha, beta, gamma. It is the third letter. And the more dangerous these radiations are, alpha and beta, and after nuclear plants and nuclear bombs blasts, there appears alpha radiation. And first, looking at Cyprus government table, I didn't understand. I understood you did okay. I was interested in Fukushima disaster this day, and I was reading that there was iodine isotope, and they also wrote that people are afraid of gamma radiation, but there are another radiations, ionization radiation, alpha, beta, and even radon radiation, and Berek-well is radiation. This term, and if so I started reading this Cyprus table, and only the third day, yesterday in the night, I checked information about nuclear bomb. So nuclear bomb, when it explodes, it is in a short time very, very big gamma radiation. It is seizes, and then appears iodine radiation, alpha radiation, and beta radiation. And this is exactly how it is in AMS object in a Cyprus, and the page radiation.dli.gov.cy. I shared in the description of this video, and I explained to you how to look, to press on MSC, and local Lithuanians who threatened me say this is paper factory. So if it is paper factory, paper box factory, and Cyprus is not a nuclear state officially, has no objects, nothing. So this is a scandal, and this is too big scandal. People asking why there are no articles. If it is a scandal to such extent that international forces came with very modern detonation of nuclear bomb, which cost more than $100 billion, and nobody knew that it was already created. And this must be international anti-terroristic forces, counter terrorism, of nuclear terrorism. And this is, of course, if BBC and all the papers would write that in Cyprus today successfully was neutralized the huge atomic bomb. So there would be, of course, very big, how to say, panic, hysteric, and so on. And of course, there is a question, why no blogger? There are so many conspiratorial bloggers. There are so many generals in not serving anymore. They like to comment. They all are in silence because it is an unprecedented event. Because normally, if somebody explodes bomb, it goes secretly, and it is not going online to monitoring system, but it went online to monitoring system, and it is still there. You can check. It is still LEFKOSIA 489 million. I press and I get this. I even filmed and make a separate video About this, if it was a mistake, they would delete, and we see also separate monitoring system with number CY0037, and this monitoring is working. So I wanted to talk very shortly about numbers, but as I understand, English speakers and other people in the world cannot know this, or seeing this number not to believe, like normal reaction is not to believe. And if I have from 5,000 to 7,000 viewers of my channel, a statistic say they ignore this topic. Now when I went in direct talk that it is probably seeing to radiation types nuclear bomb, they all ran away, because people are changed consciousness. Because if it is not nuclear state, they have not nuclear plants, they do not have nuclear factories. I first was writing like this nuclear plant. Later I changed to nuclear factory, but it occurred that there are no such objects. So these Lithuanians who live from this travel, they started threatening me that they do not understand that then 1,000 less iodine was found in Europe. There was a very big scandal in 2017. It was only micro a part of half a micro becquerel in Finland, in Norway, and there was a scandal. And here are becquerels. It is not micro. It is with radon. We have at the moment radon 222 isotope 19.10 becquerels without micro, without mini. And radon 220, we have 19.10 millibecquerels, 2 square, not square, how it is called, cube meter. And talking about iodine, we have 8.66 millibecquerels, and yesterday in the night we have 77. And after blast we had 11, 9, and now it's diminishing. And we have artificial alpha at the moment, 2.03 millibecquerels to cube meter. Sorry, I translate from my language if I do not know. And artificial beta radiation, we have 7.05 millibecquerels to cube meter. And we have people mistaken looking at the first line ambient gamma dose rate 50.79, but as I say, for nuclear bombs it is normal, then the gamma dose shrinks. And the most important another doses. And the second, it's not the same monitoring system as everywhere in Europe, because it is ambient gamma dose rate, not gamma like in nuclear plants, because there are no nuclear objects, and they build natural nature gamma monitoring. It is totally different. So there is a question about normal, how to say, usual gamma. We do not have these numbers. And okay, what else? These numbers that I represented you changes, they update every 5 minutes. It changes. It shows that the process is active. If it changes very much, it is active process. But if neutrino generators were neutrino beam neutralization are created and were used, it is a melting process, not burning, but melting process, so it will melt. And while this object, we don't know what it is. I suspect it could be a bomb because there is no chemical factory, there is no nuclear plant. It could be only this about prescription, but of course I can be wrong. But that there is nothing, as everybody shouts, who cannot accept reality, it is not true, because it is not nothing. And why it is not stops? Because this object remains in MSA. Why not people are informed? Because if you support nuclear terrorism, you are guilty. If you let to enter a country, it is an island. You cannot say sorry that you did not see some object. The bomb is a huge object. You cannot hide in backpack. And looking at 489 million gamma dose on 18th of May, it must be huge object. So you cannot say sorry you did not see, and you must accept consequences. I'm sorry for people, and I was sorry for these Lithuanians who live here, but they do not accept information and they refuse to leave. But the most dangerous time after the blast is 9 weeks. Later, radiation can shrink, but people are so ignorant and they do not accept information, and they even started threatening me. But what is this 9 weeks or 12 weeks comparing to all the life? So if somebody knows how to press with the mouse on these links, if you can see, it is open, it is not hidden. Europe Commission still today they have this point and they write openly that this was accident with 489 million. How it is this severs at our nanos. I don't know how it is. I am very new in this field. I normally say gamma dose, but you can say normally you can not mention this, but you can say gamma dose, and that's all, and everybody will understand. And Cyprus, you can see these different radiation types, and then you could check just Wikipedia. I can add wiki nuclear bomb, and you will see that I am not lying about these all radiations. They are written in about prescription in a nuclear weapon, that there are these fission weapons and so on. I was looking for, I found alpha particles, but I did not find beta, because we are not learning about bombs in physics in school. Agree? Radiation types. Radiation types. We are not learning, so I didn't know what is. Yeah, there are two kinds of radiation: non-ionizing radiation and ionizing. And what are the 7 main types of radiation? So people who deny these events in Cyprus, they mention that they do not see gamma and that's it. But there are 7 types of radiation. Gamma rays have the highest energy, shortest wavelength. Then come X-rays, ultraviolet light, visible light, infrared radiation, and microwave radiation. Which of the three most radiation is most harmful? Alpha particles are the most harmful internal hazard as compared with gamma rays and beta particles. Radioactive materials that emit alpha and beta particles are most harmful when swallowed, inhaled, absorbed, or injected. So That's why I advised to leave the island, because if you are near this boxes factory, which produces alpha radiation, you inhale. I will add this explanation in description about alpha particles, and I will add, because my viewers, Lithuanian speakers, they do not listen at all. And I know how many people are flying to Turkey, how many people are flying to Cyprus, and I want to warn. I warned friends who are listening, who are open-minded. I try to warn, uh, at least to save some 5 people. But if you are English speaker, and I want to warn you, and I will add into description iodine radiation. What it is in this object. In this object. It is used normally for good reasons. Radiation was found for good reasons. Polish scientist Maria Skłodowska-Curie found it, but later was used for bad things. Radiation exposure, and if you Google E131 radiation, the Google will lead you to Cyprus radiation page. And exposure of iodine-131 can lead to thyroid cancer, and this was from Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And very funny to listen when Mr. Zelensky compared Bakhmut events with Nagasaki or Hiroshima, but he remains silent about these events in Cyprus. Coincidentally, in Cyprus, from 10th till 19th of May, there were bombing teachings to Ukrainian army from US and UK, and detonation. And as I created black humor, when you work in such topics, you become very tough and your jokes are very black. So I created anecdote that Russians were following these teachings through satellites, and they got so bored these boring teachings of 19th century, how to detonate in the battlefield and how to shoot with small artillery to bomb. So Russians calls to the base in Cyprus and say, "Hey John, hello, I'm Vasya. I am bored from your teachings here in Cyprus." "Oh, hi, Polkovnik. If you see a film Red, you will see the same situation what occurred 3 days ago, because it shows very big cooperation of enemy parties actually to detone such big object. I don't know what it is. I just suspect that it is not a nuclear weapon, because from radiation that it reveals, it is very similar to bombs in Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and so on. And so Vasya with John jokes, and John answers, "So Vasya, I am also bored. It is like kindergarten. I fucked up in these teachings." And Vasya proposed, until I go to sleep by monitor, we saw here from Sputniks that your friends that you teach, he just brought into the island some firework, and they hidden in a paper factory, and we have a proposal to you. And Our treat, $100 billion, our treat, it will not cost anything to you. We invite you to participate in detonation, in 21st century detonation. What do you think, John? And John is so happy because they 20 years ago they were only dreaming about this, you know, about this how it is called, neutron beam. And of course he agrees because he lives only one time his life. There is scientific invention and it is for free. And why not to agree? And they agree and they organize all this because looking at the prescription of this generator, they could not create very big and they could not shoot from the distance. It could have been only that you detonate, then you are nearby. So to be nearby, you must cooperate. That is the answer why Cyprus are not hiding this accident. People are asking why there is no information, but how it is not information? It is official governmental site. If you go to this and you press on MOS, you see all this table that I represented you now. Iodine, artificial alpha, radon, artificial beta. They are not hiding. It shows cooperation. And what does it mean, the silence? Because it is unprecedented, because people cannot believe because the number of gamma ray are too big. We were in shock with Chernobyl with 300,000. Yes, gamma 30 years ago, 35 years, 30 more, 1986. We were in shock. We are in shock. We just in Lithuania 4 days ago we have found that Chernobyl is smoldering. It is not burning, but it is smoldering every day. 7 objects above 2,000 gamma, and 2 objects of around 6,000. And slight radiation is always going to Belarus. And Europe Commission page is not informing, but there was created Ukrainian page. And maybe there will come people who are interested in this topic. So I also add this Ukraine monitoring page. Chernobyl is also moving in gamma dose. Here is the page of monitoring, because there is no information that if you are interested you could find. It is I don't know, people maybe are afraid. Of course people are afraid because it is a war. They already proclaimed a winner. Winner is Zelensky, and not innocent part. They have Ukraine is innocent. So when you proclaim such dogma, this part can do anything they want. And then there was in Chernobyl 15 months ago some blast in Chernobyl. They were lying. They were talking crazinesses in internet. And we are not far away, and we did not know information. We are only 1,000 kilometers away. We did not know that it was accident. And we see only after 15 months in some information in internet. Verkhovna Rada was joking like, haha, 65 to 93,000 gamma. Russians were digging holes, ha ha ha. But it is not a joke, and nobody investigated what was happening there. And it is smoldering, and it's radiating, and 7 objects in Chernobyl exclusive zone above 2,000 every day. Okay, so I invite to check MOS, object MOS, monitoring system 0037 in Cyprus. It is not hidden, it is online. And if you can, please The most dangerous after blasts of such objects are the first weeks. Later, radiation shrinks and goes away. Of course, it never will go away, but the first weeks are the most dangerous. It is from 9 weeks till 12 weeks. And if there is no information on radio and television, I cannot explain that. I just suspect that because the party is guilty, because this country is not nuclear country, and there can be no such objects in such country. And they had only the best evaluations from IAEA that they are so good, and they have small waste because every country have waste of radioactive trash from medicine. They had the best evaluation from Artemis, and so it is a scandal. And let's wait. It's only 3 days, so there will be some response. If not tomorrow, so next week. It will not be silent. It's just unprecedented. Because what was the object of such gamma rate? And you please, after this video, just press on European Commission map and make sure yourself and see and accept this information. It is true information. It is 4, 8, 9, and 6 zeros. And it is not a mistake. And let's work all together. Let's think, let's fight for Europe and for the world's future together, not ignoring problems. Because in Lithuania, they advertised nuclear bombs. They were poisoning our brains already 1 year ago. I found numerous articles about that. In the near future, Russia will bomb themselves with nuclear weapons. They will bomb Lithuania. And the most crazy article was, after nuclear bomb, you just go to shower. Everything will be okay. You just go to shower. So we, of course, ignored these articles. We did not accept, but as I see after 18th of May, they were not joking. They just prepared. They informed us that we are living deaf, walking deaf people. But we are alive, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it is detonation or if it is terror act. Now it looks for me more like detonation, because there is no fire, there is no damage. It looks like very modern neutrino beam, which was thought only is in experimental stadium with elevator of particles, and it must be joint institutes of nuclear atomic physics from all over the world. And if this miracle was created, it means that all other nuclear bombs could be detonated the same way, and that Mr. Zelensky or other misters of our articles, our newspapers cannot threaten us anymore. Because we were threatened, we here in Lithuania are threatened that we will be attacked with nuclear bombs. And it works on people's brains. People are dying. There are a lot of deaths, actually. Every day newspapers write about deaths of 50 years old, 40 years old, people just dying from heart attacks. But the atmosphere is, we are threatened. So of course, there would be very good to know information if it is a modern detonation of such not allowed, prohibited weapons that are used not by conventions. And why people are not believing? Because before nuclear weapons were used during Second World War, and later only trying them in deserts. So in deserts there are not monitoring system, and you could never open a monitoring map and see such blast. That is why it happened, because it happened in Cyprus. There was monitoring system, and it showed. And we must accept the fact and analyze and not to be afraid, because more dangerous it is to ignore, not to be interested, and not to say to friend, to neighbor, and to relative, because at least you should buy some potassium iodide to have. At the moment, ionization radiation, so iodide potassium is not very useful, but for gamma radiation it is useful. So, for example, I did not have at home such medicine, so we immediately bought, but very peacefully, not getting to panic. And also, if such nuclear bombs are used and the war is going to nuclear stadium, so it is good to talk to relatives to which you are not very get on well. I talked to various relatives, I wrote to friends, and to renew your values. And if it is, for example, if it is the end, yes, if they are going by their plan that they threatened us, so it's better to understand what we have here, that it is not like they were saying that aggressor attacked the country. It was that nuclear terrorist threatened not only this country but all the world, and some country decided to take responsibility because nobody were moving, but instead of being helped fighting nuclear terrorism, they were confronted with many billion of dollars. And all this year watching, I was in shock because I clearly understood what this aggressor is searching. They were searching for nuclear bomb, and maybe they found. Maybe this is what they searched for, and that's it. So have a nice evening.